Hello there. Welcome to Just the Dis. My name is Brian, and we talk about Blu-rays here. And today, we're going to talk about some new stuff from Indicator. Their March titles, and it's a good batch, let me tell you. I just talked about these two on the podcast version of the show real recently. So definitely go check that out in the What We Were Watching in March episode. But I'm happy to talk about them again because these two in particular got me super excited for this whole lineup, really. So what you have here is two Howard Hawks films, and they, neither has been on Blu-ray before. They look fantastic. Both have really nice transfers and tons of extras and are Criterion worthy. So let's say hypothetically you would buy a couple Howard Hawks movies from Criterion. You would definitely be happy with these two releases is how I'm going to put it. Okay. That's how great Indicator is. And I'm going to continue to try and let you all know how much I love Indicator because they really do some outstanding work. I know a lot of collectors know about Indicator, but I think we got to put the word out a little bit more because this kind of stuff, especially this one, just blew me away, overall. Now, I had seen both of these movies, but it had been a little bit. So the Criminal Code, for those that don't know, is Hawks film from 1930 or 31, 1930. And it deals with this young man here who, in a drunken brawl wherein this gentleman was threatening his either wife or girlfriend, I can't remember which, he ends up striking the guy, and the guy ends up dying from the, wounds, I guess. And so this young kid is going to go to jail. And Walter Houston plays this very ambitious DA whose mission it is to incarcerate as many criminals as possible. Like, he wants to, move up. He has sort of his eye on the governorship, and so he is sympathetic, but only slightly. Mostly just like, you screwed up, and you're gonna do some time. And so anyway, he sends this kid away for 10 years, or that ends up being the conviction ultimately. And the twist is that shortly into the movie, we cut to the young kid now 6 years into his 10-year sentence, and he's in a cell with Boris Karloff, who's got his own vendetta going. And suddenly Walter Houston's character takes over as the warden of this prison. He basically flamed out trying to go for the governorship and just failed, and ends up in this warden position. And it's this jail where a whole bunch of criminals that he basically sent up are there. So there's a great tension with that, and it's an interesting warden role because Walter Houston doesn't play like the J.P. Ryan in Runaway Train. He's not that sort of horrible kind of, I don't know, just the kind of guy that you get as a prison warden that's always really pretty mean. And he is, again, by the book, but he also has some empathy. And when he sees this kid that he realizes he incarcerated for the past 6 years, he starts to turn a little bit. So anyway, I'm not going to go into the details after that, but that's sort of your setup, right? But this one has some killer extras. It has an audio commentary from film historian Nora Fiore, who is Nitrate Diva on Twitter. If you follow her, she's a great follow on Twitter. Highly recommended if you don't, but she's already on at least her second commentary. I think she did Escape from the Fog on the Noir box number 1, if I'm recalling right. So it's neat that Indicator has them, sort of has her in their camp as a commentator. So her commentary is very good. And then you have Behind the Mask, 26 minutes, author and film critic Kim Newman discusses the non-horror career of Boris Karloff. That's as good as you think it is. Kim Newman is always a delight and one of my favorite purveyors of, extra content on Blu-rays, especially this kind of movie. And Karloff, it's absolutely wonderful. There's something called Codes and Convictions. This is also brand new, a 30-minute video essay by Jonathan Bygraves on the many adaptations of Marvin Flavin's The Criminal Code. So it's been adapted multiple times. And then this is the killer right here, the clinch of the whole thing, basically. John Carpenter Masterclass Howard Hawks, 36 minutes. This is an archival audio-only recording of the presentation by Carpenter in 1997 at the National Film Theatre in London. And so obviously you can't see what he's saying or see the clips he's talking about, but you get to hear him talk about Hawks and the things he likes about Hawks, and it really is like a nice little master class in Hawks. And I love that Carpenter loves Hawks, so whenever I can hear him talk about Hawks, if it's on the Rio Bravo Blu-ray or wherever, I take that opportunity, and this is a really great feature. And then there's even a radio broadcast and more stuff. There's more stuff. I love I think I've talked about it, but I love the package design. Just beautiful. These are Region B locked. All of these are going to be Region B locked. Just so you know, you'll want to get your region free player. I do recommend the $99 player that you can get from 220 Electronics. It's a really easy, it's $99 plus a $40 upgrade to get it all region. And it's by far one of the most affordable and easy to use options out there. If I remember, I can leave a note or a link in the notes for this. But anyway, this is how beautiful these discs are. And then you've got reversible artwork, of course, and a lovely thick booklet. Like, they don't mess around, these folks. Look at that. It's really nice Karloff. So that's the Criminal Code. And then to go with it, so you have this very sort of serious noirish prison drama, and then you have one of the first screwball comedies that Hawks ever did, and maybe one of the early examples of the genre in general, 20th century, and this is from 1934. And this one is the story of an actor played by Carole Lombard who is sort of caught up with this tyrannical, egomaniacal joke of a director played by John Barrymore, and he sort of finds her and brings her up from obscurity and makes her into this great stage actress, and then she bails on him and goes to Hollywood, and then he starts to have a bunch of flops, and so it's clear that her leaving him has thrown him, so he tries to hatch a plan to get her back. And he finds out that she's going to be on this specific train at this specific time. And so he hatches this little plan to sort of try and ensnare her into a new contract. But it's a very fun movie, and both Barrymore and Carole Lombard are incredibly funny in it. And it's just a delightful movie. And this is another one that I liked more. Each time I watch it, I like it more. And this last time was really wonderful. Again, Region B locked. This has a, let's see here, 4K restoration, original mono audio commentary with Farron Smith Neme, who I'm a big fan of hers, self-styled Siren on Twitter. Definitely another great follow. I wholeheartedly recommend. And she knows her stuff. You can find her on the extras for, I feel like, a couple Scorsese discs, or if you go to the Criterion channel, you can see her in some interviews there. Like, she is one of those folks that works in conjunction with Criterion and now Indicator, and I love it. And her commentary is great. I really like the track. There's something called Stars in Her Eyes, 17 minutes. Academic Lucy Bolton discusses the film career of actor Carole Lombard. Peter Bogdanovich recommends 20th Century. This is 1989. A 5-minute appreciation by the acclaimed filmmaker. Super 8 Cutdown, The Campbell Playhouse, radio adaptation, 57 minutes with Orson Welles, Austin Film Society trailer, etc. And again, you have a really wonderful booklet, just really thick stuff. This is great. And these come with the limited editions, the booklets and stuff. There's that artwork, which I may flip. I'm not sure. I like both pretty good. But anyway, so this is just a great 1-2 punch of Howard Hawks from Indicator. Highly, highly recommended. The kind of thing you should get yourself region free for. And on top of that, another one of my all-time favorites right here, Things Change from 1988. This is David Mamet's film, and it's maybe my favorite. Yeah, maybe my favorite Mamet film. It's a really sweet movie. It's about this. I want to say is he a shoe repairman, or what does he do? Yeah, he's a shoe repairman. He has been selected by some mobsters to go to prison for one of their own, basically. And I think he's going to get he's going to get a bunch of money, or he's going to get set up in some way, but he can't obviously squawk on them. And, he's just got to do it. It's basically one of those, offers you can't refuse. And so this low-level mobster minion guy, played by Joe Mantegna, is tasked with, taking care of him and getting him to his arraignment, getting him to the trial or wherever he goes to get officially arrested. He's basically taking him to jail. So the way I think of this movie is like The Last Detail, but in the mobster world, like the low-key mobster world. So if you haven't seen The Last Detail, that's a similar story. Two sailors taking a guy to jail and trying to show him a good time. And that's kind of what happens with this, without giving too much away. Mantegna starts to feel bad, and he wants to make it a, good last hurrah, if you will. And so that's what happens in this movie. And it's just amazing. I just love this one. Love, love, love. And this is sort of underseen, I think, as far as Mamet's films go. And this is the Blu-ray debut. So, also region B locked. But this one has original mono audio, Engineering Things, which is a 21-minute interview with David Mamet, which is really interesting because Mamet has made a choice. He's wearing like a backwards Kangol or something, which is, maybe that's what he wears all the time. But he's sitting with his feet draped on a desk. So he's got his feet up and he's kicked back and he's turned sort of awkwardly to the side. And I couldn't help but be slightly distracted by thinking about him setting up that interview and being like, oh, no, I think I need to have my feet up. I think I'm going to turn and talk, and it's going to seem natural and laid back, and it seems not at all that. But Mamet is an entertaining, speaker, so it's fine, and it's a good interview, and I loved hearing anything he had to say about this movie because I love it, and I haven't really heard him talk about it too much. So that's a great feature. And then there's something called Things Happen, which is a 30-minute interview with Joe Mantegna, which is great because he talks about working with Mamet. He talks about Don Amici, who, of course, I didn't even mention, is the shoe salesman. And it's really great to have an old Hollywood guard type like Don Amici in this movie. In fact, Mamet definitely talks about that in his interview, too, casting Don Amici. And so that's cool stuff. Melodies from Mamet. Composer Alex Rocco Jans describes the process of scoring the movie and his other collaborations with Mamet, as well as Life as It Could Be, 10-minute appreciation by musician and writer Rob Deering. And that's basically it. Alternate artwork is basically the same, I think. It just loses the band on top, which I always love, the Indicator band. And then, look at these booklets. Just really sturdy stuff. Okay. So then last but not least, we have Crime Wave from 1985, directed by Mr. Sam Raimi. So this one is not a Blu-ray debut. This has been available via Scream Factory for a little bit. It might be out of print now. I'm not even sure. But now, again, this is a Region B locked disc, but it's got a whole lot of features. I think it carries over everything that was ever on that Blu-ray from Shout Factory and adds its own new stuff. But so this one is I'm going to just read a plot synopsis because it's hard to sum up. But fed up of his business partner, Ernest Trend hires the services of 2 exterminators. When things go drastically wrong and they murder the wrong man, the race is on to frame an innocent video surveillance man. So that doesn't necessarily sum it up perfectly either, but you'll notice it's written by Joel and Ethan Coen and Sam Raimi, and you're probably going, why haven't I heard of this movie? Well, it's a pretty weird movie, and it's maybe some would find it a little uneven, and I don't know. It's got a crazy good energy about it, though. It's like that Raising Arizona, flying camera, Evil Dead kind of energy in terms of the filmmaking. So on that level, I think you guys should be checking this out if you haven't seen it. I'm a fan. I have the other version. Okay. So you have your inside, another great booklet, little Raimi photo, and then the alternate artwork. Now you'll notice that Brian James and this crazy dude are featured prominently. That is because they are the 2 exterminators that are going after our dude. And they're pretty nuts. And I love Brian James. And so that's one of the reasons I like this movie too. And Bruce Campbell's in it briefly. He's got a great cameo part. And there's a whole commentary that he does on this movie, which is really cool. The other thing that's neat about this is it has multiple presentations of the film, which is something that Indicator is doing and I think is pretty neat. So there's 4 feature presentations. The 87-minute international version with a selection of 3 alternate titles, Broken Hearts and Noses, the XYZ Murders, and Crime Wave, and the 82-minute U.S. theatrical cut. So I guess maybe the differences in those international versions is just the title sequences. I'm not sure how intricate the differences are between those 2 cuts. But anyway, original mono audio commentary with Bruce Campbell and filmmaker Michael Felsher, audio commentary with Sam Raimi expert James Flower, that's brand new. The Crime Wave meter, 16 minutes, Bruce Campbell revisits his early collaborations with writer-director Sam Raimi. Leading Man, actor Reed Birney talks about Crime Wave and his wider career. Made in Detroit, producer Edward R. Pressman discusses the making of the film. Rank Outsider, this is brand new. Critic and author Kim Newman remembers the original UK release. I would love to hear Kim Newman talk about Crime Wave. And then we have another appreciation by Rob Deering. This is called Too Much for Comfort. It's 8 minutes. And let's see. And it also features there's rare behind-the-scenes material from Reed Birney's personal archive. That's 12 minutes of that. And promotional reel, previously unseen digest version with unique voiceover for industry use. U.S. theatrical trailer, U.S. home video trailer, French theatrical trailer, and a 36-page limited edition booklet with a new essay by Amanda Reyes, who I'm a big fan of. So that's great. So that's inside our booklet there. But this is a fun movie and definitely underseen and underappreciated in Sam Raimi's filmography. And this is a sweet edition of it. So all 4 of these are recommended. So check these out and check out what else Indicator's got going on. They have in the coming soon section, they have Irreversible. They have the Noir Volume 3 set. They announced the Hammer Volume 6, I think. So go check those out and see what's involved in those box sets and if they might be of interest. But definitely a region-free company, a company that will make you want to go region-free, because I think they're starting to region lock a lot more of their stuff. Some of their earlier releases weren't region locked, but most of the stuff lately has been, and that's fine. Like I said, get yourself a cheap region-free player and start digging into what is the Criterion of the UK. It's really, really good stuff. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like and let me know if you've picked up anything recently from Indicator, maybe from their sale, and what you thought of the release. I hope you liked it. and subscribe to the channel. If you like videos like this, subscribing helps. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.